Hello out there. Heavy Monte here. Welcome to the Heavy Monte's morning show. Today, America, we want to talk about Donald Trump and the Republican Party. Yesterday I said that, you know, all the people out there who think they're white are actually black people. And I said this because they're being controlled like they control black people. You understand? Now, I'm gonna back this up a little bit because I got a lot of comments in the chat, and I thank you for that, asking me to explain what I meant when I said that black people are the majority, you know, and they are made up of so-called whites. Okay. The reason why I say this, America, is because Charlie Kirk, a pig and a racist, came out and said that the Civil Rights Bill should never have, been approved. So, but the Civil Rights Bill, you know, affects everybody else, everybody. All Americans have civil rights. So without civil rights, you know, hey, you're in trouble. You understand? And that's what's happening now. The government said you have no civil rights. The Donald Trump and the Republican Party. They're saying they can pick you up. They can do whatever they want to do to you. And I told you, Hispanics come in all different colors. All right. So that means they're white, blacks, whatever. You understand? You're at risk. If you have a mixed child and you're a white man and a black woman, they look Hispanic, they can pick up your child. You see what I'm saying? You see? So you are exactly like Heavy said. You understand? If you're white, you're treating you like a black person, like a Hispanic. You see what I'm saying? So, you see what I'm trying to tell you? So, America, I want to say something to you about Charlie Kirk and what he was saying about black people. Okay, America, I've been telling everybody out there that the black race is a scapegoat for your government keeping you poor. You understand? You know, keeping you poor in the south, in the red states. They're saying to you, hey, you're white. Okay, you can't be hanging around with those black people. And at the same time, they're telling you that the black people are taking your space, huh? And taking your place. You know what I'm saying? And the government is giving black people shit. So I'm gonna put this out right now. Okay. So you so-called white people, you like Jim Crow? Hmm? But that's what you're living in right now. You're living in Jim Crow. And you don't even fucking know it in the red states. Huh? They're cheating down there. Huh? They're cheating. And that's the reason why you can't get a Democrat in those red states because they got it all locked up and they're cheating. They got the press, you know, and they're not doing shit for you. You're poor. You see what I'm saying? And then they're telling you that the so-called white people, that the government is giving the black people shit. That's what me. Yeah. And the black people are getting ahead because the black people know how to play the system. You see, education. Okay, you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Tell your children you got an illegal as a black person law enforcement system. If you're a black person or minority in this country, don't fucking commit any goddamn crimes. Simple as that. The best thing you can do for the black race if you're a black person is, if you're in a gang, get the fuck out of the gang. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because they'll get your ass. Huh? Law enforcement don't play. You know what I'm saying? So don't do shit. You know what I'm trying to tell you? If you're doing drugs, stop. You know what I'm saying? If you're a black person, go to freaking school, get an education. Because like the old Black Fat and Whitehead song, they ain't no stopping us now. And when I say black people, that's everybody. Huh? The so-called like white people too. Don't listen to that shit. Huh? You understand what I'm telling you? I'm gonna say something to you. As a black man, I found out something when I was a child. Like I told you, I had freedom of choice when I went to the white schools. I found out that I'm just as white and cool as them. You understand? Just as smart. You understand? Or smarter. You see what I'm trying to tell you? Other white people. You understand? And the people treat you good. You know, in my high school, really good. Teachers great. I'm trying to tell you, didn't have any problems at all. You know, but only have problems from the government. Huh? The police stopping me, huh? Telling me I can't go downtown, telling me the government at 6 o'clock, you better be off the street in Charleston when I was a kid. If they caught your ass, they were hanging people left and right. Toy, they lynched my mother's, you know, cousin's father in front of the children. That's what he told me. You know what I'm saying? He had no reason to lie. You know what I'm saying? He told me that. You know? And so what I'm saying to you, America, now we're in a situation today where the American people have to join hands. Okay? Now we have identified a corrupt government. Okay? You understand? Corrupt. You know? It's so bad, America. I'm gonna give you an example. Facebook. Facebook is completely taken over by bots. You know, maggots don't come on Facebook defending Trump because they can't. Huh? They're losing their farm. So Trump has replaced these people with bots, automation, AI. That's what he told you. So now you need to go register as a freaking Democrat. That's your only goddamn hope. Now, America, you know, I think I have my phone here, and the amount of change the subject, Republicans that are pedophiles was reaching 100, 200. I'm telling you that. Donald Trump, spiritual leader. I just got one right here. Breaking. Famous MAGA influencers and frequent Fox News guests. I'm gonna call his name because you got to wait until the trial. Has been arrested and charged with sex trafficking and producing child sexual abuse material for at least two minors. Another day, another maggot freak, they say, charged with molesting kids. Seriously, is being a rapist like their orange cult leader. Huh? See what I'm saying? They're trying to be like him. The same. America. You understand what I'm trying to say? Now, a little further. Donald Trump's, okay, spiritual leader, okay, that gang of Christians, they so-called Christians that endorse him, scum, not Christian, ripping people off, stealing the people money from the people, right? Telling the people they need to vote for Donald Trump. So what I want to say to you, America, you know, is that right now, I'm gonna do a little breakdown for you. The Republican Party is a party of pedophiles, America, starting with Donald Trump. Okay, in my opinion, I believe he's a pedophile. Especially after what the people were saying. They're saying that after what his commissary secretary said he lived next door to Epstein, and when he met him, he and his wife said, "Look, this is a scum, freaky, bad, freak dude. We're not hanging out with him." And his wife told him, he said, "We ain't never talking to this guy again." But I want to talk to you a little bit more, America, about this right there. I told you about that one guy right there, right? I'm gonna go a little further. Okay, check this out. A Texas worship pastor has been arrested for possession and production of child sexual abuse images. You understand? Another child sex predator. Hmm? Busted. They say the Republican men that are close to Trump are all sexual predators. They say because it's a ring. Okay, that's one there. Another one, America. You understand? Now we want to go back on and talk a little bit about corruption. And to tell you that the Republican Party, America, is a satanic cult. They're guilty of treason. Okay. Project 2025 is a document that lays out treason, a traitorous document. That document should be used in court to put Donald Trump ass in jail for treason. You understand? And Bolt and all those people who created that shit. You understand? They created a document to bring down the government. That's fucking treason. And I'm gonna tell you something else. You know, everybody like to cuss. I had to stop. All of the liberal broadcasters are cussing. You know what I'm saying? Because they're cussing and cursing because that's they can't help themselves. Because of the stuff that Donald Trump is doing. Now, they say, I'm gonna go back to this pedophile thing in a minute. Republicans, they're pedophiles. If you think both parties are the same, statistically, corruption versus the Democrat versus the Republican from 1961 to 2019, this is what happened. Okay. Republicans have been in power for 31 years. Okay. Presidents. And in that 31 years that they have Republican presidents, they've had 149 Republican indictments, 95 convictions. and 34 prison sentences. And the Democratic Party, they've been in power for 28 years as president. They've only had 3 indictments, 1 conviction, and only 1 freaking prison sentence. So remind me, tell me again, both parties are the same? That's a freaking lie. Okay, now we're going to go back. I identified to you, okay, 2 people that are close to Donald Trump that are sexual predators. Okay, I'm going to name another one. 3. North Dakota Republican senator has been sentenced to 10 years. We can call his name. Ray Holmberg has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for traveling abroad 14 times to rape children. A Republican. All right. Okay. And so we have a felon married to an immigrant, Donald Trump, telling us the problem is immigrants and felons. Huh? When his whole entire organization is a pedophile. And before I go on a little bit more about the Republicans, this is the pedophile edition. You know, Dennis Hastert, the Speaker of the House, okay, a Republican third in line to the president, went to jail for trying to cover up that he was raping children. Jim Jordan, with this Jim thing, you know what I'm saying? They're saying that he knew that the doctor was molesting these children, right? Okay. Ted Cruz came out and he said the party of pedophiles, the Republican Party, that's enough for you. That's enough. You can't vote for none of them because you don't know which one is good and which one is bad. Ted Cruz said, "How about we all come together and stop attacking pedophiles?" You understand? You understand? On top of the Republicans being pedophiles and protecting a Russian traitor with a Project 2025 documents that can be used against them to prove that they're treasonous bastards, and the penalty for treason is death. Firing squad, send them to Utah. Every single Republican voted, to double everybody's health care premium. Voted to double your health care premium. And going around lying on the Democrats and saying the Democrats are the ones that are taking and doing this to you. The Democrats ain't got no power. The Democrats can't do shit. You know what I'm saying? Because America didn't give them any power. You know what I'm saying? The Republicans got all the power. They can open up the federal government or shut it down, whatever they want to do. You see what I'm saying? But they don't want to. And the reason why they don't want to, they're covering up the Epstein files. You see what I'm trying to tell you? They're covering up the Epstein files because they said that Donald Trump is a pedophile. Okay. Now, I want to go on a little bit more. Okay. And I want to talk a little bit. I'm going back to the pedophile thing. I want to talk about the New York Republicans, hmm, that's putting Trump first. Why? Wow, he's attacking New York, they say. Now, he had to back off and restore the money to New York for the train stations and stuff, but he did it. So no Republican in New York should be voted in because they're attacking the state and they ain't doing nothing. And Mike Lawler, burst of sound bite, excuse my language, tell me he's a moderate. He's a freaking maggot. Okay, so New York, let's make sure we take and vote those New York guys out. Don't vote for any Republicans. I tell you, don't vote for them nowhere. Okay, expect Texas, no Republicans. You're Hispanic, don't vote for them. Change your goddamn own registration immediately, and that is going to shake them out. Now, before I go on, we need to impeach Donald Trump. He's a fascist. He's a criminal, a sociopath, he has a narcissistic personality disorder. He's a pathological liar. We need to get rid of that son of a bitch and impeach him before he kill all of us. Now, I want to go on and talk a little bit more because the morning show, we talk about everything. Okay? We talk about everything. We just talk. Okay. Now, I want to talk about the people who voted for Trump. Latinos for Trump. And he repaid them with mass deportations. So if you're a Latino, you can't vote for him. All right? Veterans for Trump. He cut your services and fired 10,000 veterans. Veterans for Trump. Okay? You can't wolf on them. You're a veteran. Woman for Trump. He took your human rights before the elections, and you still voted for him. Huh? Yeah, yeah. He was doing before the election. He was doing things to women, and they still voted for him. You know what I'm saying? Taking away the rights. Telling women that if you take and have an abortion, they're gonna put your ass in jail. And if you leave the state, we're gonna come and hunt you down like a dog. And they still voted for him. Satanic cult. Okay, America. Black voters. Uh-huh. Blacks for Trump. He's wiping out your history. Huh? Uh, Tim Scott said America is not a racist country, he said. Okay, now let's go back to the pedophile watch. A Louisiana Charlie Kirk fan, Joshua Christopher, they say, has been arrested for possessing videos of children being sexually abused and sexually abusing animals. Huh? A Charlie Kirk guy, the guy who loved Charlie Kirk, a man who said that they should abolish civil rights for all, that the black people have a holiday, huh? And white people don't have a holiday, but they ain't no fucking white people. I keep telling you that shit. That's just grouping you together. You understand? To take and tell you that, you know, that the flag, Donald Trump passed a law saying that you can't damage the flag, but the son of a bitch allowed the people to own the Confederate flag. He didn't say I'm gonna outlaw the Confederate flags and outlaw all these flags and American flags is good. He said that you can have your flag, my flag, Trump flag, and all that kind of shit. But if we liberals do anything to the American flag, if we kneel on anything, we put them in jail. I think you should put a person in jail for, you know, for the Confederate flag. It's a traitor flag, okay? Not American. So we want to go on a little bit more. Now, Dave Chappelle, he's out there talking about Charlie Kirk, letting everybody know. Man, Harry was by himself. You see what I'm saying? I was by myself telling everybody he's a piece of shit. You know what I'm trying to tell you? This guy, a blatant fucking racist. And I still have all of Charlie Kirk in his own words posted up on the Heavy Monte YouTube channel on the Seneca Project. Okay? Now, Stephen Miller, a Nazi, in my opinion, a criminal, somebody who ain't white. Mm-hmm. He not white. He's just acting white, like he white, because whites are made up shit. You know, you know what I'm trying to tell you? Just something to group people in the keep ignorant, and stupid, and have them voting for Trump. We all are Americans. You understand? I don't like that black white shit, but hey, that's what Americans doing. Stephen Miller wants to spend $27 billion to deport 1 million immigrants who currently contribute 89 billion in taxes each year. Do the math. We lost $106 billion. And that's not counting the money, the planes, and all this shit that they're doing, right? It's probably more than that. Kicking out the people who we need to, pick our vegetables and do all kind of good things. These hardworking people that pay taxes. And they lie to you and tell you that they're bad and they're criminals. When we have a convict, they say a pedophile president and a Republican Party on strike, scared. What the hell we need to look like having those jokers run the country and they're scared of Donald Trump because they are Donald Trump. Okay, why is a pedophile still in the White House? Huh? If he's a pedophile, why is he in the White House, America? Huh? If he's a pedophile, now the big Kahuna, Heavy Mountain on Pedophile Watch, Republican Pedophile Watch, America, MAGA, huh? Donald Trump, spiritual advisor, a big time minister, huh? He pled guilty to child abuse of a 12-year-old. They said Donald Trump and the boys, fix it where he only get a couple of months. So he'd be right back out there, molesting children. Huh? His spiritual leader, America, Donald Trump, on his team. Huh? 12-year-old girl, pedophile watch. Huh? Okay, America, we're going to keep going now. Okay? Because there's a lot more than this. Now, how many Republicans does it take to fix a problem? No one knows. That never has happened. Huh? All they do, the proof is out there. Jack Smith have it to prove, in my opinion, that Donald Trump's a fucking traitor, guilty of treason, should face a motherfucking firing squad. In the opinion of Harry Monte, fucking traitor. Hmm? It's a it's proven out there that Donald Trump, most likely the pedophile. We have the information, huh? But they're covering it up because let me tell you something about a criminal gang. Donald Trump has information on all these people. They all fall. They said today that Jack Smith actually had the phone records of all the congressmen, Republican congressmen and senators who, was involved with this coup, with January 6th. So, Perry, they're all afraid. That's the reason they protect him because Donald Trump, runs a criminal organization. He gets something on your ass. I'm trying to tell you. Jeffrey Epstein did it. Taking pictures they say of his guests. Doing things to children, and he blackmailed to send me some money. I'm gonna tell everybody, and that's the reason why Jeffrey Epstein dead. And I believe that Donald Trump and the boys had something to do with it, and Charlie Kirk did too. Because Charlie Kirk was a fool. He was in tight. You know what I'm saying? They already groomed him to him what to say, and if he didn't say it, he'd be in trouble. Now, the reason for all the hate in America is Donald Trump. Okay, that's why. Yeah, that's what the reason for all the hate. Now, a former Sports Illustrated model, her name is Stacey Williams. I understand. I don't know how true this is. She said that Donald Trump, you know, took and did some stuff to her. That he sexually assaulted her. You know what I'm saying? That's what she said. 20 other women said he did some things to her. And we will keep going on this pedo watch America. Okay. An Oklahoma man who is affiliated with the Republican Party has been arrested for soliciting sexual images from a 12-year-old child. Republicans, they want to make it normal. They want to pass a law saying that, sex with children start at 12. Okay? All right. That's another one. Wait a minute. Hold, man. Pedophile watch here. Okay. A Florida supporter who accused Biden voters of being pedophiles, his name is John White, I understand, has been arrested for molesting a 5-year-old child. Okay? Now, here he is building his website. All these names are put you to be up on the website. You know what I'm saying? But we need to verify this stuff, because, this is what the press saying. You don't know how true it is, but that's what they're saying. So check it out for yourself. Okay. Now, that was only a few, America. And I could keep going on and on. Trump, former spiritual advisor, pleads guilty to child sexual abuse charges and will serve 6 months in prison when he was given a 10-year sentence. Hmm? You know? So the question is asked by Henry Monte and all of us comedians out there, because we comedians stick together. Huh? You know, uh, Dave Chappelle's out there talking now. You see what I'm saying? People out there talking. And we got a question. We got a government that punishes comedians like, Jimmy Kimmel, but protects pedophiles, all in the name of Jesus, they say. Huh? Huh? A corrupt Republican Party. This is Heavy Monty and the Heavy Monty Morning Show. We're going to keep it short. But I hadn't even went down the list of all the pedophiles yet. Huh? We will go down the list of all these pedophiles. Now remember, never ever vote for a Republican. You'll be voting for a pedophile protector or a pedophile. This is Heavy Monte for the Heavy Monte podcast, the Heavy Monte comedy show, saying never, ever vote for a Republican. And please subscribe to the Heavy Monte YouTube channel. And a lot of these maggots and these bots come on my YouTube channel. They subscribe to the channel, you know, talk about the shit, and then they go away and subscribe. So I do it for hell y'all. Go find somebody else to pick on, man. If you don't want to be dealing with you crazy ass Republicans, I just erase your shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't even deal with that because I'm telling you right now, these are Russian bots. Okay, the Republican Party is really, really been destroyed, and they're boulders, and they're dangerous. Okay, they burned down that judge's house. You saw that, right? To the freaking ground. You know what I'm saying? They burned down that church. You know, they killed all those freaking people, right? These maggots is gonna blow up some shit. You watch. You know what I'm saying? The government gonna have to go there and lock up a bunch of these maggots. You know, they won't be part of this time because they're mad. You know, I'm trying to say Donald Trump got bullshit them out of their damn farm. Donald Trump got bullshit them out of their damn soul and their freaking money. You know, I'm trying to tell you, you like a damn fool. I mean, here you got a man, a rapist, a convict, okay? Somebody say a Russian spy, and all this damn shit. And everybody's telling you, but they told you that the Democratic Party and Kamala's out there talking about, I'm gonna help you with your housing. We're gonna do your student debt. We're gonna do all this shit. And your dumb ass says, look, I'm not voting for no black woman. I'm voting for Donald Trump because I love him. Well, love that shit on your own. This is Heavy Monty saying, have a good day. Enjoy the morning show. And you see, I'm smiling. You know why I'm smiling? Because we got their ass. Okay? Everything, you know, whatever you do in the dark, come to the light. Okay? And Donald Trump is the worst of the worst. You understand? Everything that you despise, you don't want your children to be around. That's why your children are killing people. That's why you're having bad luck, and that's why you're starving and losing your freaking job, huh? Because you're dancing with the devil, and the devil's winning. Okay, but that's us liberals. You know what I'm saying? We got a whole different ball game to talk about liberals. Uh huh. Those red states, they tried to destroy their own freaking government, and now they're crying, listening to Donald Trump and Fox News. But we're gonna have a Fox News edition coming up too. So Fox News fucking up. All right, this is Heavy Monte for the Heavy Monte podcast. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and look for the morning show tomorrow. Every morning we're here. Have a great day.